I came across a video where a woman was talking about how participating in life in general, in public, is not an invitation to be abused. It is not like some sort of unwritten rule now that because you have chosen and decided to be in a public space, out in the world, that you are in some form of way agreeing and consenting to being abused. I know I'm paraphrasing here, but the point is that the onus is always put on the person or the people being abused to say that, oh, you should have known better. Of course, if you went out there, if you went to this place, if you went to this location, by just putting yourself out there, by just participating in life and the public space, you should have known better, right? So in other words, it's basically victim blaming, right? It's really messed up, because they were given an example of women who travel, solo traveling, right? And how much abuse, verbally, sexually, physically, that they experience. And of course, this also applies to in just everyday normal life. They were putting it across as to how, again, another situation is, oh, if you went out to, let's say, the club, of course, you're going to be in an environment of abusers, of people who want to take advantage, and therefore, you're the one who put yourself in that space willingly. So what did you expect? Or, in any other example, because at the end of the day, it's literally any space. It doesn't even have to have a particular theme or subject. It's literally any space that is public, that women participate in, because you can't live life without participating in it, and especially in a public space. So it made me think about also how, in terms of when we come across like popular media or, movies, TV series, video games, whenever there's a narrative around, because I was using particularly the storyline of a stalker, or if there's a serial killer, whenever that is the case, like 90+% of the time, the stalker, the killer, is usually a man, and the people that they are looking for or targeting or stalking are usually women in almost all of those like scenarios, right? I remember there was always that like a few lines that they would be thrown around, something like, oh, you shouldn't be around these parts, especially as a woman or as a young girl, or you shouldn't be alone, or hey, make sure you get back home before it gets too dark, things like that. And it's never about the cause of the stalking, the cause of the killings, right? It's never about who is doing these things, right? It's never about like, oh, we should be addressing the fact that there are stalkers out here, there are killers out here targeting predominantly women, right? No, it's always about the responsibility being put on the women, on the girls. Yeah, it just got me thinking as with that part when they were talking about the solo traveling, especially. Because yes, I remember that caught my attention some years back, where women were talking about how it is so challenging to travel and see the world and just experience the world in general. It's not, you don't even have to travel, just experience the world on your own, even if it's going to the park, because you will have men invading their space in so many ways. And of course, the verbal, physical, and sexual abuse is always constant, is always present. And then, of course, apply that to like the marketplaces, transportation hubs or transportation stations, things like that. Inside the transportation vehicles, it's literally everywhere. And then, of course, workplaces and back into the home. But specifically, this was about the public space. Once you're out there, doing what you want to do, experiencing what you want to experience, but you really can't do that. You really can't have that, because there's this sort of unwritten rule that now that you've put yourself in that space, now that you're out here, you've consented to being abused, and it's really not okay, because again, one, we're not addressing the issue, which is it's men, boys, who are abusing, stalking, and killing women. And two, that we are victim blaming, we're putting the responsibility on the people being abused, being stalked, being killed, which is ridiculous and makes no sense.